In a beige office building outside Philadelphia, an auction you've never heard of just raised the price of keeping your lights on by more than 800%. You didn't get a vote. You just got the bill. Since 2020, the average American home's electricity price has jumped more than 36%, and it's still climbing. And when people ask why, they keep hearing the same two letters: AI. But here's the thing. The truth is weirder than the headline. Because for 10 years, data centers were actually making your electricity cheaper. Something flipped. This is the story of what? First, you need to know a secret about your electric bill. You probably think you pay for two things: the electricity you use and the wires that deliver it. But there's a third charge, buried in the fine print, that most people have never noticed. It's called capacity, and it's basically an insurance premium. You pay power plants just to exist, to sit there, ready for the one brutal July evening when every air conditioner in 3 states turns on at once. How is the price of that insurance decided? Not by Congress, not by your utility, by an auction. Enter PJM, the biggest electric grid operator in America. 13 states plus Washington, D.C. 65 million people. If you live anywhere from Chicago to New Jersey to Virginia, this is your grid. Every year, PJM runs a capacity auction. Power plants bid for the right to be on call, and the price lands on every electric bill in the region. For years, that price was boring. In the 2024 auction, it cleared at about $29 per megawatt day. Then the auctions started coming in hot. The most recent one cleared at $325. That is 11 times higher in 4 years. Insurance for the same grid, same wires, same customers. 11 times higher. What changed? PJM has an independent watchdog whose entire job is answering that question. And its finding was blunt. Data centers. According to the Market Monitor, new and forecast data center demand added over $9 billion to a single year of capacity costs, an increase of roughly 174%, and accounted for about 63% of what customers in the region are now paying for capacity. $9 billion, spread across the electric bills of ordinary homes, schools, and businesses. Not because those homes used more power, but because someone else showed up to the auction with a bottomless appetite. So who's the someone else? 5 companies: Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, and Oracle are spending roughly 2/3 of $1 trillion this year alone building AI infrastructure. 1 year. 5 companies. That's more than the GDP of most countries, poured into concrete, chips, and cooling fans. A single large AI campus can draw as much power as a mid-sized city. And they're not building one. Nationwide, data centers now account for roughly 40% of all growth in electricity demand. Here's the problem. You can build a data center in about 2 years. A power plant? Permits, transmission lines, construction? Often the better part of a decade. Demand is sprinting. Supply is stuck in line at the DMV. And when demand sprints past supply, auctions do what auctions do. Prices explode. By this summer, the politics caught fire. In July, New York did something no state had ever done: a statewide moratorium. The governor ordered a freeze on permits for any new large data center while the state figures out rules to protect ratepayers. That same month, New Jersey went the other way. No ban, but a new law with a blunt name: the Fair Share Act. If your facility wants 50 megawatts or more, you commit to paying at least 85% of your projected power costs for a decade. And you fund the grid upgrades you cause. And with midterm elections in November, who pays for AI's electricity has gone from a spreadsheet question to a campaign slogan. Case closed, right? AI moved in. Your bill went up. Villain. Found. Except, remember the weird part from the beginning? This June, Researchers published the most rigorous study yet on this exact question. They analyzed a decade of data, 2015 to 2024, using methods designed to separate cause from coincidence. Their finding? Every time data center capacity doubled, residential electricity prices went down, about 3.5% down. And once you see why, you can't unsee it. The grid is mostly fixed costs, wires, towers, substations that cost the same whether you use them or not. The more electricity gets sold, the more customers there are to split those fixed costs. For 10 years, data centers were the roommate who moved into your house and started splitting the rent. Your share got smaller. So the study says cheaper. Your bill says, ouch. Who's lying? Nobody. And that's the actual story. The roommate discount only works while the house has spare rooms. Through 2024, America's grid had slack. Power plants with capacity to spare. New demand just soaked up idle machines. Everyone won. But the AI build-out isn't ordinary demand. It's the fastest, densest surge in electricity appetite since the invention of air conditioning, and it hit a grid that had stopped building. No spare rooms. Now every new tenant triggers a bidding war. That's why the answer to, is AI raising my bill, is, it depends on where you live. In PJM country, the watchdog has receipts. Billions. Measurably, yes. In other regions with room to grow, data centers may still be quietly pushing rates down. And between those two outcomes sits the most boring, most powerful force in this whole story: the rules. Who funds a new transmission line? Does a data center pay a special rate or hide inside the same class as a shopping mall? Those decisions, made in rate cases nobody live streams, decide whether the AI boom lands on big tech's invoice or your mailbox. So the auction in Philadelphia wasn't a glitch. It was a warning shot. The century-old deal behind your wall socket, everyone shares the grid, everyone splits the cost, was written for a world where no single customer was the size of a city. That world is gone. 2/3 of $1 trillion a year is making sure it never comes back. The deal isn't dead. New Jersey just rewrote it. New York hit pause to rewrite it. Every state is about to choose. Make the biggest users carry their own weight, or quietly spread it across everyone else's bill. Here's the strangest part. The machines everyone's worried about? They might be the best-paying customers the grid has ever had, if the rules make them pay. The question was never whether America could afford artificial intelligence. It's who signed up to pay for it. Check your bill. You may already know the answer.